Meeting of Lake Park Audubon School Board to order. 1.1, 1.2, roll call. Marge.
Here.
Cole.
Here.
Aaron.
Here.
Jade.
Here.
Sarah.
Here.
Susan is here. Can we stand 1.3 for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can I get a motion to approve this? Sarah, do you want a motion?
I will motion, but I want to motion with one change. I want to move 8.2 to after the public comments.
Sounds good. Can I get a second on that, please?
I'll second it.
Okay, any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Motion approved. Okay. Then we'll move to 2.0, public comments. Lake Park Audubon Public Schools welcomes all attendees at our Lake Park Board, the LPA Board of Education meeting. While this gathering is a public meeting, it is essential to clarify that this meeting is for the board to conduct business. It is our commitment to transparency and fostering goodwill. The LPA Board of Education invites members of the public to share their thoughts. We kindly request the public comments be expressed in a civil, courteous, and thoughtful manner. Any disparaging comments directed towards board members, employees, or community members of Lake Park Audubon School District will not be tolerated. To ensure a balanced and efficient session, the public comment period is limited to 30 minutes, with each speaker allotted a maximum of 3 minutes. We kindly ask each individual speaker to state their name and address before presenting their comments. During the meeting, board members and administration will not respond to comments. We appreciate your cooperation and thank you for the support of the students at LPA. We have one speaker. Welcome, Carol.
Thank you. I'm Carol Newstead, and I live on 20th Avenue in Detroit Lakes, Minnesota. Now, while I'm not a resident of the district, I want you to know that I was a teacher here at LPA for well over 20 years. And I'm just so happy to be able to be here tonight on behalf of the League of Women Voters to speak to you about an event that is coming up. And I'm here, I'm excited about this opportunity to partner again with this school and in inspiring our students to become voters. And I want to thank Principal Meyer for registering the high schools for this exciting event on September 16th, which is National Voter Registration Day. This event is sponsored by the League of Women Voters, the state of Minnesota, the DFL and Republican parties, and students across the state. This is the second year of participation by LPA. I also want to thank the staff, the superintendent, and you board members for your diligent work for our students. It's a great time to be a Raider, and thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we have 8.2 Business Professionals of America proposal.
I can pass those out.
I didn't staple it, but. Okay, guys, so, where do you want me? Stand, it doesn't matter.
Wherever you like.
Wherever, okay. This is being handed out, so what I was proposing with, so my name is Shane Hoffman, I'm the new business teacher that you hired. So I've been teaching, I taught with Cole there for a few months. Yeah, I think your daughter, my son or so I taught for 15 years, but I spent 7 in Wadena. Last 2 in North Dakota, but 7 in Wadena. So as part of the requirements there, I did a CTSO called Business Professionals of America over those 7 years. And as is typical, first 2-3 years, and I get it up and running and so on. But as we progressed, things went pretty well to the point that it led to the last year I was there, I had 33 students, I think, all made it to state in 15 or 16, went to nationals. Well, at nationals, we had some placers. I think we had 6, including a national champion, 2nd, 3rd, 5th, 6th, something else in between there. So what I was proposing is to start a chapter here. So I've outlined some of the benefits for the kids. Primarily this is a competitive situation, like they prepare for and practice for an event they choose, or 2 to be exact. But what I liked about this was it was a large range. So a lot of my kids weren't even in my business class, they were just kids that had interests in different things, including, which has become popular in the area, like healthcare. So you don't get a lot of business, usually kids are in the biology, chemistry, but there's healthcare events to digital design, so graphic design. So I had a lot of kids that were in either graphic design, multimedia, or just art class, that appealed. Those kids that like finance or business, there's events for speaking, there's a lot of computer science events, Java, coding, programming, things like that. Multiple choice, project-based, team-based, individual, it covers the whole gamut. So it really helps touch on a lot of things for a lot of students. One thing I tell kids there is, in our region, the region that we would be in would be the same as what I was before with Wadena and Detroit Lakes, pretty small region, so kids putting in just some effort typically can get themselves to state. So on a resume builder thing, it's, I tell kids in like super hard events, there's probably the only entry, you have region champ. Unless they ask you, you don't have to tell them you're 1 of 1, or 1 of 2. But it was a nice awards and accolades on those resumes as builders. Get to state, that's in Minneapolis over 3-4 days. And so many of the events I push are top 5 events, which means if you are in the top 5, you are eligible, not required, but eligible to compete at the national level. And so I push for a lot of those, I tell the kids too, it's basic numbers, statistics. Certain events too are less either require too much work, so a lot of kids don't do it, or they might require some software elements that many schools don't have, so maybe like Adobe products. So I had a lot of kids go to Adobe events, because even though another student may be very much artistic, they're limited by the resources they have at their school. So I would work to try and identify things that just flat out you show up, you probably have a 20% chance of going. But if you put in the effort and work at it, and these vary. So this year, the site is Nashville. I brought kids to Los Angeles, Orlando, Dallas, Chicago. So it varies. So it also gives a lot of kids an opportunity to travel that otherwise may not. But that isn't something in May. So we start early, we start when the school starts, and then we have monthly meetings. They'll do fundraisers or concessions. This is what I did in Wadena at least. Leading up to regionals, which is in January. It's 1 day, I think, based on a document I just read. I think it's in Detroit Lakes now. It used to be in like Park Rapids, but I think it's in Detroit Lakes. Then states in May, where we stay at the Hyatt, and that's through the state. So the state books all, each school pays, but they have the block rooms at the Hyatt, so everything's right there on site. So typically what we do is we plan like a group meal one night down in an Italian place. But then in between, students are going to workshops, competitive events, or just really spending time with each other. So that seemed to be a lot of fun. And then, of course, those that put in the effort like anything else, if it falls correctly, things work, they get the right questions that they know, then you have nationals, and that varies, again, by location. But a lot of opportunity for kids, and how I run things is usually, I try to get a group of 5. So, and I tell kids this too, I say no event, I don't want to have 6 really great kids, knowing only 5 of you can advance. So I limit those. So, for example, one event is a medical coding event. I had a lot of kids do that and do it at nationals because it's a little more difficult, but my mom did it for 30 years for work. So she would coach me and then I would coach the kids the next day. And that was something that we would organize Tuesday at lunch for 25 minutes. They'd come to my room, they'd have their books, I'd coach them how to use it. Then eventually we just ran through like diagnoses. Other events, maybe twice a month, but I tried to do them during either they had study hall at the same time they had prep, or it's a group lunch, so that they're still doing everything else that they wanna do and can do without it being too much of an interference with sports or other organizations. So that helped a lot too. We do chapter officer things, so again, that's a resume builder in terms of leadership roles and responsibilities. Helps give kids some ownership then too, because they get to choose what activities their group does, how involved or not involved you wanna be. So it's a lot of variance and things like that in terms of how much you wanna put into it. But it also does offer a lot of kids a lot of different opportunities. And I had kids that were straight A high flyer kids. I had a kid that barely got through high school. He didn't really care, but he was big in the tech. He's now working for a printer firm in Jamestown, like as troubleshoot. So he was in it, he did the tech events, because they were hard and he was a self-taught person in Python network. I think he probably won 4 or 5 state titles, but it was just his thing. School wasn't, but that was. At least kept him in that D- range because he knew he had to if he wanted to keep going and keep doing it. So, other than that, do you have any questions for me? I tried to outline just kind of the same selling points that I just tell the kids about too.
I have a couple questions.
Yeah.
First of all, I'm all about having students partake in various activities. I know in the past, my understanding is we had something called, is it DECA? How is it, do you have any idea how this is different than
I don't know
DECA?
a ton of DECA, but DECA is more marketing, all marketing focused.
Okay, sure.
This has sections of like Word, Excel,
Sure.
database, to digital design, graphic design, website design, coding, programming, Java, medical. So it's a lot more broad that I'm aware of. And I've never coached DECA. I just know DECA is a marketing focused heavy thing. Everything is kind of revolved around projects, marketing, advertising, promotion. So there are definitely probably some of those that kind of cross over in terms of what they're looking at, but
So-
not so much the coding or medical.
Wouldn't have DECA. 'Cause-
Would this cover some marketing then? Would this
Oh yeah,
enable?
there's marketing, there's
So-
some
so-
marketing concepts, there's,
That guy left.
but there's also like digital design and promotion, there's website design, and a lot of that, if you're not marketing the product, you still have to present and explain why did you make the font choices you did, the graphics, the layouts, and a lot of that goes back to psychology and marketing, which is all it is. Marketing is just like business psychology. So it's these font styles induce this kind of behavior, which is this type of a marketing, these marketing concepts are what I'm using when I make these choices and things like that. So really depends on the event, but yeah, it's a little more broad-based in business, BPA is.
Do you finding that is there a necessary quantity of tools that would be needed for certain, I mean, if somebody wanted to be in the marketing side, is there different programs that would make things easier to be available? Or does it just, I don't know, are there tools that we won't have for the kids to be able to be successful at it? Maybe that's the best way to put it.
Yeah, so like in terms of the business admin stuff.
Yep.
I checked with John and I logged in mine, but I just have to double check. I did talk to him though about like Microsoft Access. So this is a program that's fairly simple, but a lot of schools, this is where I would help get kids at state nationals, is a lot of schools either don't have the software or they do, but a primary computer application, Word is always Excel, Word, probably PowerPoint. So a lot of kids don't enter it or don't have access to it. So that was something I made sure I had. Because as I explained to my students in our region, there was probably, we would always supply 5, and there was probably 6 or 7 that did, total, maybe. State, I remember, is probably 15 to 20, and top 5 go. So it's just, there's certain events, we already have the Adobe, the Photoshop stuff. So another one that I happened to have some kids do well in was advanced desktop publishing. Only difference between that and fundamental, advanced had to be Photoshop or Illustrator. So a lot of schools don't have the Adobe, they just stick with maybe Microsoft Publisher or Canva or whatever. So students, when you get there, they're either not eligible, or there's a couple cases kids would sit down to do it because at regionals, it wasn't looked at, you just did your thing. It'd get there and be like, well, I have this, that fundamental, yeah, advanced, you can't use that program. So there were something, the medical coding, those we would need to get a book, I think they're on ICD 11 is the newest book. It's like a thick medical coding book. Usually they use it for 5-6 years or more. Is it 11 right now, or 10?
I think it's 11,
They did do 11? Okay.
yeah.
But that's a book they
I don't
just
even know if
reuse.
it's fully out, but yeah,
okay,
that
okay.
sounds right.
It's a book they reuse for,
ICD-10 is the one that's most widely used
Yeah.
right now, but
and that's what we were using when it was, I think the year before I switched, or year after it was 10, so.
mhm,
Yeah, so there are some of them we have the resources, the technology, the things. Others, with BPA that makes it a little different, and I liked was they are time tests, which was the same in FBLA, but the events, here you can bring your resources. So if you make your own notes, you can have, the only thing you can't have are old tests. But being time tests, you still need to know your stuff. Or you really need to know how to find it. So a lot of time it takes, you still gotta practice, still gotta prep, but it's not that brain block and now I'm stuck, it's, you gotta use your resource. So like medical coding, you have to have the book, there's no way you memorize that. But I would have a medical dictionary too, a little one, so they could look up terms, cause there's, I think 20 multiple choice and then like 10 diagnoses. So if there was a medical word, they're not quite sure, they'd have to look it up and then do the diagnoses. So in business law, I think I found some free books to download, but it depends on the event. But it wasn't, with Dina, it wasn't really heavily, in terms of tools and resources, it wasn't expensive. A lot of stuff was either free or they already had it as a school.
To answer your question, Mr. Burkus, what we were looking for is opportunity for our students, and like our previous business teacher had kind of the interest in the DECA, so this would replace the DECA. Mr. Hausfeld has a ton of experience and expertise in this area, and I think it'd be a great opportunity to, like he said, that kid that got a D-, it like gave him a motive to come to school, and so just those, doesn't have to be your high flyers, it could be any of our students that would be involved, so.
Okay.
I have a question. What grades are you looking to target?
It can only be 9 through 12.
Okay,
At least this way, I wouldn't be looking at middle school chapter, just 9 through 12. In fact, I don't even know if, when I left, I think Minnesota is still piloting middle school, but I would just do 9 through 12. That's what I'm familiar with
Real quick question, do you have a time frame when this kind of gets going?
right away. I just fill out the form online and then
Okay.
the chapter, they give you like a code.
Okay,
No cost to the school in that respects, the students would pay a fee. And I think I looked it up recently, it's $10 that went, or no. I'll have to look it up, now I realize the $10 fee was just for regionals. There's a state fee and then a national fee, that's just for the programs. And then regionals is $10. So we typically did like a chapter fee, if you wanna join, cover the state, national, and then usually that regional, and then state registration fee and national, if they make those.
thank you. Mr. Meyer, a real quick question, was a DECA advisor paid last year for that position?
It was a paid position and also an assistant coach.
Okay,
So my guess, I was talking to Mr. Hausfeld, that he said, to start out, he's very comfortable with being the sole advisor and then
Oh, yeah.
see what kind of.
sure.
I mean, I was the, sole for 32 kids.
Mr. Martin, so are we looking at just letting DECA rest in the activities? Or are we gonna replace that? No.
Replace the PBA with the DECA.
Mhm.
Yep,
So then that would be dropped out of the list of activities.
yes.
Okay,
What sort of participation within the state, other districts, do you have any ideas how many different districts are participating in this program?
Well, it's pretty widespread, like for here, it is,
well, it's all there.
I have to share my computer.
I mean, roughly, I mean,
I think state had, because there is the cutoff for regionals, you know, there's top 5 make it, but state usually has 1,000 to 1,200 kids at it. So I think there's probably in the area of a couple thousand in the state that do it. Over in the cities, there's much bigger chapters, so they cost like when we have
Would
like
he be
100,
employed through the
120 kids.
district or more of
Was
like a
that the same thing?
1099
So they
like
have-
contract?
You know, we might have an event with 4 kids, they will have an event with, that same event with
Okay.
25, it'll be 5 kids. Sure.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea, opportunity for our students. Obviously, I would like to check with our contract, to double check the contract, because we currently have DECA in there. We don't have BPA in there, and I want to make sure that if we have to do an MOU or something like that, memorandum of understanding with the union, to facilitate this and get this going. I think it's a great opportunity for our students.
I love the idea.
I love it as well.
Let's make a motion. I'll make a motion.
Can I have a motion?
I will make the motion to add BPA.
Can I have a second?
So moved.
Can I have any discussion?
So the discussion would be is DECA would then be removed from our overall and replaced with EPA, correct?
That's what I'm going to look at.
My
He's gotta
motion.
look into that.
I need to look into that with
I don't
our
know if you can
contract,
drop
because extracurricular activities are often called Schedule C or something like that as part of the contract. So I will reach out tomorrow to our union representatives and double check, because maybe we could, like I said, do a memorandum of understanding.
So if unable to, then we would continue with DECA and BPA?
Well, we don't currently have anybody that's interested in DECA,
Okay.
so we would just not run anything at this
Gotcha.
time.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine that the union wouldn't be in support of doing something for our students, a program like this. I mean, rural Minnesota, we need a lot more business-oriented people, especially in the agricultural industry, mechanical, and, manufacturing. So I think it's a great opportunity. I'll reach out to the union tomorrow, and make sure. I'm glad you were able to make a motion, so. Thank you.
Need a vote on it?
Yep. Any other discussion? Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye, all those opposed say nay.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Then we will move back up to board reports. 3.1, Building and Grounds Transportation Committee. Jade, are you able to give a report on that today?
Sure can. We met just prior to the meeting there, and we reviewed a list of items in the elementary facility. Talked about the contingency that we currently have. And then we had a few projects out there. One was a project in which, well, Mr. Berquist can probably better, he's well more rehearsed on it, but we had some product that was purchased for an outdoor playground or facility or something there, but
Yeah,
rock and roll.
may I,
Yeah, go
Madam
for
Chair,
it.
may I speak?
Yes.
Yeah, we did have the Facilities Committee, Transportation meeting. I want to thank Mike Zick and Matt Jensen for talking during the time. Something to just talk about. So we're looking at continue with the buffers in the south gym, the old gym in Audubon, okay, because it's, the acoustics isn't very good. So we're looking at doing something with that. That was talked about, Jade, as well. We're working on some warranty work with Mission Mechanicals coming in. We've had some issues with the HVAC system going through there. I'm not gonna probably talk about everything, but we did have apparently I need to get a better handle on this. Student activity account paid for potential to have cement along with some games, outdoor games like ping pong, bean bags, shuffleboard, ladder toss, and my understanding it was gonna cost around $70,000. It was not part of the budget. However, it was raised, funds were raised through the student activity account in the elementary, is my understanding. I know that we've had those cement games since last October, November. Nothing's been done. We had a big discussion about, instead of doing all the grass area, maybe just doing little cement block areas. But as I did mention, auditors get very picky about student activity accounts, right? So I want to make sure that I'm doing everything I can to ensure that we're following the right rules and procedures for the student activity account. If the money was donated specifically, for example, for this project, I need to find that out. Because Minnesota's under a microscope right now with some of the fraud that's happened in the last couple of years. And I want to make sure that we're following all proper procedures. So is that what you were talking about?
Yep.
Jim? So
Yep.
we have, we're gonna be having some bids come in. Still waiting on for the football field, the softball field, and surrounding area.
The football field is the irrigation.
Yeah, the irrigation, thank you. See what else we have. We were able to save some money, thanks to Mike. We decided that we had one actuator in a sink that cost us $4,500 with labor. That was one, and we decided that we were gonna try to find somebody else to look at that, and now we were able to get 5 sinks done for $2,882, as opposed to one sink for $4,500. So we gotta shop around. Also, though, I wanna mention, Jade brought up a good point. We wanna make sure that we're not just getting the cheapest bid. We wanna make sure that we're comparing apples to apples when we look at bids. So, right, Jade, is there anything else I
Yes,
might have
sir.
missed?
No, we did talk about the HVAC control and boilers on the geothermal over at the elementary, that, and then the robotics building has been cleaned out, I guess. And then on the transportation side of it, just Matt brought up, buses that we potentially may need over the next years to come and such, so, but
Yeah.
I guess probably the big one was the baffles, or whatever you wanna call them, in the soundproofing in the old elementary gymnasium. So we got 2 bids and working
Right.
on finding out which way is the best way to go.
Yeah, and so,
Make sure it actually fixes the problem.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so that, I'm gonna feel bad for the teacher and the students that have to be in there with all, you can just, the sound just echoes in that area, so we're working on that. I actually felt like it was a good meeting. I hope that, yeah, and we're also talking about, looking at roof companies as well. Because we've had some different, companies come in and some different contracts signed that we need to take a look at, so. But yeah, I thought it was a good meeting. I'd like to continue at least maybe once a month, kind of update. And by the way, board members, if you ever want to reach out to Mike or myself, and you want to take a tour of the school, by all means, you can do that, okay? If you work until 6 at night, you want to come at 8, I'll be here. Mike's here quite a bit as well, so you can reach out and go around. We did talk about the area too, over by the entrance on that side, kind of by the trophy cases. There's a floor there that's been buckling for, I don't know, Mike, quite a few years, 8 years. So ICS, Lori Christensen happened to be here tonight, and she's got some ideas maybe to get that fixed, but hopefully we can get that going as well too, so. Is that pretty much everything, Jade? Did I leave anything out?
Yeah, there was quite a bit covered.
Okay,
It was good. Definitely moving in the right direction. I'd like to see each and all of us as board members get a tour of the district. It's not one facility, it's just not one building, but the entirety, whatever we gotta sit back to look at and make a decision on. Everything from the bus garages to the outbuildings to the concession stands, so we understand what we're talking about.
I think that's a great idea.
Sounds like a wonderful idea. Yep.
Just let me know. And you can always reach out to Mike. If you want to just go with Mike, that's fine too, so. Thank you.
Thank you for the report, Jade and Dr. Berquist. 4.0 staff reports, elementary principal.
Mr. Johnson's not able to make it tonight, but all the handbooks have, I don't know, I guess have been vetted. I've worked with Mr. Meyer, Mrs. Zick, Mr. Johnson. They've worked with their staff to put together handbooks. We are consistent on the student attendance policy. Remember, that was tabled maybe this month, earlier this month, was tabled. But, so Mr. Johnson's not able to make it tonight, but maybe we could just go on to the other board, to the other handbooks as well, please.
Sounds good. 4.2 middle school principal.
Just quick introductions or quick updates. Right now, our enrollment for 7th and 8th grade are at 105. Radar Online, which is our online Edgenuity class, we have approximately 9 kids. We had a lot come back into our district. that were on it last year. So that is a good news there. Open house will be on Wednesday from 5:30 to 5:45. There's for 7th and 8th grade, there's just a quick introduction in the middle school theater, just talking about some middle school updates and meeting the staff since we have some new staff there. And then they'll be going out and seeing their lockers and meeting the teachers. And then the first day of school is September 2nd, but we've had a good workshop days, busy, and very productive, so.
What was last year's end of the year numbers with enrollment, 7th and 8th grade?
Should probably be skewed because the middle school model was 6th, 7th, and 8th
Yeah.
Yeah.
last year.
That's why I suggest 7th, 8th, but
I'll even look back,
yeah, I'd be
let me look
curious.
back quick and I'll let you know.
Ms. Zick, how many, do you happen to know the exact number of kids that came back from online from last year?
We had,
It was 23 last year
yeah,
with 6 seniors. So 17, so 8.
8 of them,
That's good,
so
back.
came back, yeah.
thank you.
I'll look up the last year's. Which would be, you wanna know 6th and 7th grade then?
Well, 7th and 8th grade, really.
Okay.
We did lose some 7th and 8th graders. We lost some 7th graders to a neighboring district. Did some research, found out a lot of it is because of different sports or activities that those individuals were able to get in a different district than LPA. Currently, right now, every single day we're receiving notices. We just received 3 more students today. They're gonna open enroll from a district. They like the smaller school atmosphere. You know, when the superintendent has to sign off on these forms, okay? So when a parent wants to say, well, I wanna open enroll to LPA, they have to give a reason why, right? And I always read what the reason why is. This particular parent this morning said it's a smaller school, less bullying compared to where they were coming from, which is great to read. So something to that effect. Currently, right now, though, the last I know, we're probably down about 27 students, okay, compared to the end of the school year last year. Just as a reminder, and being very transparent here, every student LPA, the basic formula for each student is $7,481, okay? That's just the basic state formula for each student. If you would take 7,000 times 20, that's $140,000 right there. So I want to be upfront and honest about that. We're working hard. I think all the staff have done a great job being in their classrooms. And, you know, I talked to somebody today, Audubon had I can talk about the end, but teams that celebrated the PBIS award and they had brats and everything else. And just, I don't know, it was great seeing all the staff out there congregating and having some lunch. So, yeah, I don't, Mrs. Zick, if that gives you an
So,
opportunity.
Jade, if you, if it was be like last year's 6th and 7th grade class,
Yes.
that'd be 106.
Okay.
And right now we're at 104.
But you understand, board members, if we, you know, there's an in and out process, right? And our secretaries do an awesome job of keeping track of that. So and they share it with me as a superintendent and probably with the principals as well, so we can see who's coming in, who's going out and so forth.
That's really the number that I think we gotta focus on. I mean, the net is wonderful, but really, how many do we lose? And then we gotta stop that.
Correct.
We wanna retain that.
Yep.
And we'll let the doors open.
Yep, absolutely. It's a work in progress. Thank you, Mrs. Zick.
Do we have a new number on the new online students? Do we have a
Are you
tool for,
talking about?
We are on hold on that right now until January. Because I forgot to inform you
obviously I
about
missed that when I missed the last meeting, okay.
Sorry, I should have.
No,
I apologize. That's-
no,
I'll-
that's
I'll-
quite all
I'll
right.
take responsibility on that.
Nope,
Okay.
you're just fine. I just missed the last meeting because obviously you guys know why, but yeah,
We're
okay,
just making sure we follow all proper policies
Sure.
and procedures with
Correct.
LPA.
Thank
Okay.
you, Madam Chair, for that.
yep.
Thank you, Lori Zick. Okay, 4.3, secondary principal.
To me, it seems like graduation was yesterday. And then when you get done with it, you think you can turn yourself off for the summertime, but that's where a lot of your thinking happens on how we can make things better. Attending some workshops, so I just want to thank the staff, like Dr. Berquist mentioned, like at our back to school workshop that we've had so far, very receptive to some different ideas that we can do to like provide those opportunities for our students to be able to get our enrollment back up to where it should be and can be. So we're just planning, we have, tomorrow is kind of our day in Holly. We're gonna do a motivational speaker there, kind of a group effort between Holly, Barnesville, Evelyn, and ourselves. Just some different ideas to be able to collaborate with other schools in our district, but also in your department, which a lot of times in a small school, you only get to talk to the people in your building. So I think it's a great opportunity tomorrow. Our student handbook, like Dr. Berquist mentioned, it is MSSP approved and MSBA approved. Our admin attends a workshop meeting every spring just to go over like the updated requirements that should be in a handbook. And at a high school, middle school level, there's some minor changes at the cell phone policy. The main thing is our mid-day arrival with our work-based learning and post-secondary students. They're gonna check it into the front office versus before. The requirement was first hour teacher, but they are coming midday, so that's the main change with our cell phone policy. And then our attendance policy, there was a little bit of minor adjustment with a recommendation on just not being, if you have an unexcused absence, that you get attention for it, but also it could affect your grade. So truancy is at 7 days. So we're working with Packer County, works with us, Frazee and Detroit Lakes. Before, if a kid got to 7 days, you were sent to court, and our court does not hold that many students. So last year we started an intervention program where it is at 3 days that the parents and students are notified. At 5 days, there's a meeting set up with the parent, guardian, and the student and the school, and the social worker will come in and just kind of talk about, hey, what are the barriers? How can we help you? Set up a plan, and then if the plan is not followed, then truancy is then followed. So that's a couple of minor adjustments we made with our attendance policy.
Mr. Meyer, may I say something real quick? We did also talk about, apparently in the past, is it Synergy we have?
Yes.
Synergy generates certain letters that go out automatically to parents. I'm not a trustworthy person when it comes to learning management systems like that. So I want to make sure, we talked about making sure that the letters that go out are accurate to parents, because, you know, if a letter goes out on a Thursday, but all of a sudden Friday morning, a parent calls and says, oh, by the way, I was supposed to do that. We kind of missed that. And I want to make sure that we're kind of looking at that as well too. So,
Yep.
thank you.
Yep. Next on the agenda is Mr. Jade Carlson stopped in the summer, and he went to a workshop at Lakes Country, and he the discussion started with having a student advisory board member on the school board here. So he mentioned kind of discussion with Breckenridge, Battle Lake, Proctor, and East High School are the ones that presented at the meeting he was at. So I called each one of those schools and just kind of say, hey, how do you get the program started? How do you run your program? Some takeaways I got was a student representative. It was a 2-year term. One was a junior, one was a senior, that we always had 2 people on there, and they could be mentored for the next year. Responsibilities, they would advocate, they would go over the successes and concerns from the students, and then send out student surveys, collect data, and then have a collaboration session with the principal on solutions. Then each month they would report back to the board. The board, they would report at the beginning because they have a busy life, and then once they were able to report, that if they had another activity, that they were allowed to leave after their board report. So plans moving forward, I would like to recommend that we got to get students in a building, talk with our different leadership groups, once the students are in there, see if there's an interest, and then once there is an interest, then they would fill out an application on being a student representative. And then also at a work session, I think I'd like to really sit down and what you'd like to see in it. And I have I sent it in an attachment, but it has kind of things you should consider in having these students,
Thank you.
and then just some roles that
Thank you,
they,
Ms. Meyer.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Do this once we.
Thank you.
Mr. Meyer and I have communicated about this a few times, probably maybe in July. I'm a huge proponent of this. I think it's a great idea. It makes sense to have a junior and a senior, because then the senior can, sometimes they both, depending on who the students are, they might be in extracurricular activities. Maybe the senior's in volleyball and the junior is in, trap shooting or something like that. So this is a great thing. I really, really like this. And Minnesota School Boards Association gives out a scholarship as well, $3,000. So I'll do whatever I can to ensure our students hopefully will get that scholarship. I think it's a great idea. Mr. Meyer said he's gonna get some work done in September to have somebody ready to go.
and just at the top, like in 1993, you see that it was required to have a student on the board, and then 3 years later, they repealed that. But there still is 95 school board that are out there that have a student on their school board. And then on the back also is just suggested guideline policies on what they can and cannot do, and some recommendations. So I'd like to sit down with you at a work session and just kind of see what we'd like to have in our student leaders, and I think just provides a civic opportunity for our students to lead in our school.
And after.
Mr.
Yes,
Meyer, I have a question for you. So I heard you say that you're to be accepting applications for this, so it'd be open to all children that are interested to apply.
Yes.
Correct.
Perfect.
Yep.
Yes, we will go through that process, Mr. Meyer. We've talked about that. We're not gonna handpick, obviously, we're gonna get together a committee of individuals to look at it, and then we'll go from there.
I like it being open to all children.
Correct,
That's
absolutely.
fantastic. Thank you.
Has to be.
Do we feel like we can have those roles more engaged in student council, to take our student council from just picking the color of balloons for the next dance, to have more leadership? And then also like the National Honor Society, we have a lot of leadership groups. Instead of keeping them all in their individual silos, try to bring it all together so we have that massive leadership instead of one all by themselves or two by themselves and a few student council members by themselves. Is that a potential that
It's
we,
on,
it is?
be patient, it's
Okay, perfect,
4 more agenda points down, and
Perfect.
I have a plan for that,
perfect.
yes. So that's the game plan, so if you have, I'd like to, Mr. Berquist, and you can we'll develop a plan on how we can
Yep.
develop this moving forward.
Yes, Gene, to answer your question, I think it makes sense to have all groups represented, right? And what that means is whoever this person is going to be, junior and or senior, whatever it looks like, hopefully they'll be the go-to person for the other student groups.
Yeah.
And say, hey, my son's name, hey, Carson, can you please bring this up at the next school board meeting? We want to make sure that we've let these kids, we want our kids to feel empowered, right? And they're our future, and so I think it's a great idea. Mr. Meyer and I will work really hard on this.
Yeah, awesome.
I can skip forward to the next one. So my idea, Jade, was, like, we talk about it, our PBS team, our National Honor Society, our student council, like, it is a lot of groups, but a lot of times it's your same staff members, and they get overwhelmed. So Lucas Pickle is gonna be coming in on Thursday. He is our Renaissance Jostens person, and we didn't realize this until last year, that a lot of this is free information. So he works with schools on developing a positive game plan, works with students, works with staff on developing different themes throughout the school year. So he's gonna sit down with us on Thursday to be able to work with staff first, and then we're gonna have them come and talk to students, and then get the groups together and just develop, like, right now we got bare walls, how can we make these walls speak students versus being clean? So just kind of the positive themes on that we can bring to our student body. How can we get more student engagement, is kind of the goal in there. So that's kind of the goal, Jade, that we're talking with the different groups there, so. Then we got open house on Wednesday from 5:30 to 7. And then the first week of school is already on September 2nd. Excited for students to be back in the building, and there's almost so much talking you can do and you gotta put it to action and then homecoming is already, last thing is the last week of September. If you came to the football scrimmage on Saturday, it was already football weather, or this morning, already football weather, so.
It was.
Yeah.
Kind of going back to the engaging those different groups, let's not forget about the leaders that we have on the courts, the fields, captains. Those are others, I mean, we sometimes forget that is as important. I mean, create that culture. I mean, we're gonna have captains on the football field, we're gonna have captains on the courts, and so something of this to be thinking about. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Meyer.
Our numbers versus last year, what's that looking like?
I think the biggest thing is our 11th grade class. All the other grades are steady or above. It's that 11th grade class, and then that's the class that chose to do the online
Yes.
homeschool. Other than that, it is steady. We're growing probably from like that 9th and 10th grade. We're in the mid-60s. That's our goal, is to keep building, get our students back in our building, and so,
Thanks, Mr. Meyer.
Thank you, Mr. Meyer.
thank you.
Okay, 4.4, superintendent report.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, I just want to, a couple things I want to mention. First of all, we have the Raider Pride meeting tomorrow. That'll be at 5 o'clock. And that, we'll just meet up here, I think. I've asked Mr. Schultz, be there, and he brought up a really good idea, and I think I support it, asked if we could have an athletic advisor there, as well as an activity advisor, part of the group. I think that makes sense. And so he has reached out and found, I don't remember who it is, an athletic coach and an activity person.
Austin Richter and Andrew Eklund.
Okay, Austin Richter and Andrew Eklund will be here as well for that, so don't forget about that. I would like to work with setting up a community ed preschool meeting sometime in the near future. Community ed school, preschool together. We need to make sure we're supposed to meet as a community ed group 3-4 times a year, 4 times a year, and we just gotta make sure we get back on that, because we have to make sure we get back on that.
The early childhood met their 4 meetings all last year.
Yeah. Marge and Susan, I want to thank both of you for speaking at opening teacher workshop. I really appreciate both of you coming in and saying something, representing the school board. Anytime next year when it happens, if you want to come in and say something, that's great. So I want to thank you for that. I had a meeting today with Coke. The contract for Coke is 14 years outdated. So we met with Coke today, and we're gonna look at doing some different things. I think Coke is really excited about some of the opportunities that they can do for our LPA students and so forth. And I think we're gonna be getting maybe some extra money as well throughout this year. So I'll be signing that once we iron out a couple more things. September 18th at 5 o'clock. I really wanted to work a finance meeting before tonight's meeting, okay? Kind of said that all along. I'm sorry that didn't happen. CISO will be here on September 18th at 5 o'clock. I think we should do a work session as opposed to just the finance committee, so all board members can be here to listen to what's going on. There was only a few dates. We could have done a Zoom call, but I really wanted this person on site here. So September 18th at 5 o'clock, we're gonna have a work session. CISO will be here, myself, administration is more than willing to come as well, and Sherry will be here as well. Okay, so please mark that down for your calendar. We're gonna get a state of the state where we're at here at LPA. And then, sure was nice. I went over to Audubon School today and I walked around and met a lot of people and, just kind of made the rounds. And again, the teachers are working real hard, getting everything ready. And, there's a lot of different things that they have to do for the district, like watch mandated reporting and different things like that. So I appreciate all the hard work the teachers and everybody's doing here to get the school year ready to go. And then I just wanna talk about the work session video, you know, we talked about that. I'm not here to hide anything or be perceived to hide anything, but sometimes a work session gives us an opportunity to talk without having somebody read into it by watching the video. It's something to think about when we have our work session in September. People are more than willing to come here and watch our work session. If they wanna call me and I can go through line by line item what we talked about. I think it's something we've talked about, maybe not doing in the future, so. And let's see, that's all I had for my information. Any questions for me regarding anything?
I have a question for you, Dr. Berkowitz.
Yes.
So if we're gonna make September 18th a work session, will that be in addition to our other work session?
Well, you know, something we can surely cancel that work session in September, the early one if you want to, and just make the September 18th a work session. Because, you know, we have to, by law, we have to, state statute, have to give 3 days notice to do that, but it's entirely up to the board.
The DAC has a very large community event on September 18th. So I will not be able to be here. Not that we have to change the date, but just so everyone knows,
Here's
it
the
is a
deal.
very large
You know,
community
something,
event.
I completely understand that. And again, I'll take responsibility. There was only 4 dates that this person is able to come on site. I'm a person who reads people, and these Zoom calls that we have, I would rather have the person on site to give information. I double checked that date. There's nothing extracurricular wise at home that night, at home. So, you know, there might be some away games or events, but there was nothing at home. 'Cause I know you all want to go to that. So I would have preferred to have a Wednesday night, but 2 of the other days were September 3rd and 4th, which is next week. And so it's September 18th. I'm sorry, Sarah.
I know, that's
Okay.
okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Yes, and my other question is, I had the tickle in my throat, is do we have stuff, we could wait and schedule it to make sure we don't have stuff we need to discuss at the first work session before?
Yeah, we can wait if you want to do that.
Well, I'm fine with moving it unless we have other stuff, but we could wrap it all together
I
too.
think so.
And Sarah, I can fill you in of what we do in the financial meeting.
Yeah, we can just, Suzie, would that be okay if we cancel that one then and do the September 18th at 5 o'clock? We know how much money board members make for being on the board and everything else, so we don't want to have too many meetings. Are you okay with that, board members, or what, would you rather have a work session early?
I think it's fair.
Okay, all right,
Works for me as well.
thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Suzie.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Berkowitz.
Thank you.
4.5 Technology Director.
Yeah, I guess, Mr. McDonald there, one of the things that I think we need to probably look at, and I don't want to steal your thunder, John, if you have something else, but we talked about lightning, no, a technology fee. If you go down a little bit, apparently this district, was it last year was gonna do a technology fee and then it didn't implement it?
Correct.
Okay, so we've met together as an admin group and we've come up with an addendum to the technology fee. I support a technology fee for students. Obviously, if families can't afford it, we're gonna take a look at that, right? We'll take care of that. But I think it has more buy-in from students if they say, look, we're gonna have a technology fee, because, you know, they're gonna probably treat their devices a little bit better. Am I correct, John, on that, or is there anything you wanna add?
That's the theory.
Yeah. And we significantly reduced the price from what was proposed a year ago, right? We came up with what we thought was a fair price. But we can talk about that when we go down to that one, Madam Chair, unless there's anything else John wants to add. Really gotta give him credit. He's like a phantom across the school. You turn around and he's right there, right? He's doing a nice job making sure that everybody's got their ducks in a row, so.
Like her,
Yeah. Anything else?
yeah, I just apologize for not submitting a report. I'll be lazy if you want to. The only thing I want to plug, really, or kind of get everybody, at least in this room, aware of is we're expanding the use or the platform that we use for our messaging and announcements and whatnot. Currently, we do have a district app, and I'm sure every one of you here has an app and uses that a lot. So what it is we actually specifically messaging. So our intent is to consolidate all of the messaging platforms that we have. I think we've got 4 to 5. I don't know. We've got a lot. And then you take that times how many kids are in a family, and parents are all over the place checking apps, forgetting and whatnot. So we're gonna see if we can't take this new feature, this new add-on for their mobile app that will consolidate that down. It's called Rooms. It's what they're calling it. The idea is that it's kind of one-stop shopping for families. They download our app, they sign into Rooms with their their unique identifier, more or less what they're associated with their student with in our student information system. And they instantly have all their children listed off in any of the rooms that they're associated with. The rooms will cover classes as well as activities too. So any communication with coaches, teams, any of that kind of stuff will go through there. Anything that students are being shared with or communicated with will automatically show up on parents as well. So we can try to keep that all one app, one location for all of that, along with notifications and whatnot. Get past any missed communication or just miscommunication too. So we try to help families stay up a little bit. So that's coming out. I think communication initial post went out to the community this evening. Staff have been getting familiar with it. We'll walk with it before we run. Probably should be, my guess, full live by a couple weeks into September. Notifications about the families that they can sign in, and they should be able to see and message staff or keep tabs on what their students should be doing, or what their kids may have trouble keeping track of. That's kind of the big one outside of technology.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. McDonald. 4.6, Activities Director.
Yeah, just a couple things to touch on in that report. The football team hosted their annual golf scramble a couple weeks ago at Forestdale. Big thank you to Grayson out there for allowing us to bring a group out there. I think we had 15 total teams. 15 teams for a 9 a.m. tournament on a Wednesday. I thought it was a really good turnout. Already had conversations with our football coaches about trying to recruit a few more teams and maybe get it moved to Thursday or Friday, so maybe we can get a little better turnout rather than put it in the middle of the week. But like I said, I thought 15 teams for 9 a.m. on a Wednesday was really good to see. Raised a lot of money that day. I don't have the exact number, but according to what football coaches kind of said, it was a pretty successful, fun day. Last Wednesday, we had our annual Meet the Raiders event down in City Park here in town, and it's continued to be just a really, really fun community event for a lot of our older athletes to kind of connect with some other community members, some of our elementary students as well, play some games and do some events down there, and it's just a good team bonding experience for all of our groups as well. I don't know if any of you have been over in the elementary yet, but our main gym got that nice new bleacher upgrade. Looks really sharp. That space has really come along the last year due to some of the renovations that have taken place in there. So we're really excited for the opportunity to show off that space to our community members here in the coming months as the school year gets going. And then one big event that we got coming up, the Booster Club is planning a big pregame football party out here on the school grounds the first Friday of the school year, September 5th. So we're in the process of recruiting some people to help out some of the games that they they got going on. Should be a really, really fun community event once again. And, yeah, the Booster Club continues to do a lot of great things for our kids involved with, a numerous amount of activities here at the school. Other than that, another big thing, I'll just continue to push forward. If you're interested in following any social media pages, the big one that I'm posting on pretty regularly is our LPA activities page on Facebook. So, Marge, I know you got Facebook. You better follow the page.
Thank you, Mr. Schultz.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Schultz. Okay, we have the Transportation Director.
Yeah, Mr. Johnson, he did talk a little bit about this at our meeting this afternoon, along with Building and Grounds. Just a transportation report, there's a pickup and drop-off locations and a welcome back letter. He and I have sat, I don't know, last week and the week before, so I don't know if you have any questions on that, on those reports as well, but I think it's pretty standard this time of year, so. And he talked about that in the radios. And then we also have additional cameras are installed on the buses, which I think is great. And the two-way radios installed in vehicles that didn't have one, so moving forward on that as well. Any questions you think of? No?
4.8, Building and Grounds.
Mike Zick, you have 32 seconds.
32 seconds. I just wanted to mention real quick, Dr. Berquist sent out, I started a spreadsheet for us. It has each school, middle school, elementary school, both bus barns, and our activities areas. I'm gonna try and update that every month. I've got probably 95 projects that we have on our desk right now that you guys can take a look at each week. I'm gonna try and add on to that the different companies I'm looking at to help there. My goal is to get as transparent as I can. And when he was mentioning, before, I wasn't allowed to come and talk to the board to say, come take a tour. Man, I'm open in arms. I'd really like to show you some of those projects that are on that list. Get you firsthand information. The more people that know, the more we can talk about it. And the more we can get out into the community with it. We can find some people that might have some extra knowledge in the community, or can reach out, hey, I know a guy in the cities, can talk to you about this. That's how we get to more information. So I'm really excited about that and excited to work with you guys. So any questions, anything you guys have, give me a holler.
So Mike, if we see something, let you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
Please do.
I mean, we should just, we're all here
I want to be able
to.
to get on that spreadsheet right away, get it out there.
Please make sure you
Same
include me too,
reasons.
because I keep track of that stuff.
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Zick.
Thank you, Mr. Zick. Okay, 6.0 recognitions. We have 6.1 donations. Thank you to all of our sponsors and sponsorships, corporate sponsorships. We have Lakes Community Co-op, $750. Westland Excavating, $750. No Limits Ag, $500. Lakeview Ag, $750. Blue Ribbon Charities, $10,000. Wagner Insurance Agency, $500. BTD Manufacturing, $500. For the Clay Target Team, we have Lewis's $196 donation for coaches rounds. We have the Trap Team, Minnesota Deer Hunters Association, $500. Robotics, Blue Ribbon Charities, $1,500. Archery, Laney's Incorporated, $100 for archery. Miscellaneous CAF, $132 for school supplies. Bell Bank, $5 miscellaneous custom card donation. Grand Central We Care, $95 for elementary student council. Can I get a motion to accept this?
So moved.
Can I get a second, please?
Seconded.
Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? This will be a roll call vote. All those in favor say aye, all those opposed say nay. Marge?
Aye.
Cole?
Aye.
Aaron?
Aye.
Jade?
Aye.
Sarah?
Aye.
Susan? Aye. Ayes have it, motion passed.
Madam Chair, we probably should go back to 5 point, the consent agenda items.
That's what I asked you, if I
I
need
know.
to say more on that.
I'm sorry, I thought so. Yeah.
Okay. can I have a motion to approve you wanted a motion on it then?
Madam Chair, may I just speak a little bit on the contract approvals? If you look at that, there's a couple things in there. We have a junior high football coach and also a C-team volleyball coach, all right? Now, one of the things that we talked about in this district is, you know, we have to look at numbers, right? Might have to look at numbers because our contract with the LPA has a certain number of coaches. And so we need to make sure to look at that. And I think something I'd like to do in the near future is to establish, we're gonna talk about this tomorrow, establish a system. So if you want an extra coach, you need to come and present to the school board or whatever it might be. Now, we're meeting with Mr. Schultz. One of the things, we could have very well put this on the agenda in early August on when the coaches were approved. However, I did talk to Mr. Schultz, want to make sure we have the numbers. I'm very happy to see that the volleyball coaches are here. They're trying to be proactive for their numbers of girls. And I know in the evening, I see two of the coaches. When I come here in the evenings, they're working real hard. There's a number of girls out. So I just want to make sure to be transparent about those two positions. Go ahead, any questions?
So junior high football, last board meeting, we were gonna reduce because of budgetary, so.
Right, but Mr. Schultz, what are we at with numbers? I know we talked about that.
Were you talking junior high football? 23 total for junior high football.
Okay. Yeah, Jay, to answer, to be honest about it is, there's a fine line. You know, we have football, we have volleyball. I very much worry about the safety of our students, right? Our young people. 23 students, yeah, maybe one junior high coach could do it, but are you going to be effective? I'm not saying that we're not effective as a junior high coach here, but you have 23 students, right? You've got enough for an offense and a defense. I think you need to have a second coach. Yeah, I talked about reducing it, but I also realize that we have to watch out for that, out for those things. And volleyball, believe it or not, volleyball gets as many concussions as other sports do, football, right? Volleyball girls, there are 6 girls on a court at one time. I know I used to be a coach of volleyball, one of the sports, and it's not uncommon if girls aren't calling the ball that they knock heads, right? The numbers are very high. I don't remember the numbers, but I do know I see 2 coaches who takes one court, the other one takes the other court, and they've got girls moving all over the place. So, yes, to answer your question, Jade, I had talked about that. I didn't think that was the right thing to do for our programs. Plus, I don't, you know, I prefer to have, I mean, these are about our students, right? I don't care if they're in speech, theater, volleyball, football. We're creating, BPA, we're creating opportunities for our students.
Right.
Right? And the research out there says, oh, it's so great to be in extracurricular activities, right? Whether music, you know, there's another one. So yes, I kept that off, but I wanted to make sure that we had the numbers. And in my opinion, we're going to Mr. Schultz. I know he's worked with the coaches. We have the numbers to justify this, in my opinion. Unless anybody has any questions.
I wouldn't disagree with you. So with that,
Yeah.
that should enable our coaches to recognize players and athletes that need that time. There shouldn't be anyone being overlooked. There shouldn't be anyone being left ignored, any of that garbage going on. And also it should enable us to better coach our youth. Meaning, last year's, we had a week of concussions in football. 5 in 1 week and we did not change our regimen. That's unacceptable. To me, I do believe we probably do. I wouldn't disagree with you on that. But with that, that means our coaching level and expectation should rise to a much higher level. So Thursday night or Friday night, I thought the game was Thursday night, but Friday night's game, coaches coach, you know, every one of them.
Right.
We shouldn't see any, I mean, the kids, when they come off that field, they should be getting coached. And that's a great opportunity because that's not only the game of football or volleyball or whatever it is, but we should be engaging every one of those coaches throughout the entirety. So I don't know if our junior high coaches are gonna be participating in the varsity sidelines, they can participate coaching.
Yeah, I think so. I actually, I understand what you're saying, Jade, and as a former coach, you know, I had coached a couple sports, right? I think it takes a team effort.
Absolutely.
Right? And I know visiting with Mr. Schultz, he has mentioned that he's talked to the head coaches. It takes a team effort, and I actually would really love to see the junior high coaches help out, and maybe they do already, I don't know.
I've been there for the past,
Yeah, I don't,
for the past 5 years.
right, so I think it's a great opportunity, because
Absolutely.
guess what? You know, maybe, maybe let's use volleyball as an example. Maybe somebody played libero, so they're gonna coach just the libero person. Maybe somebody was a setter, you know, they're working primarily with the setters, or an outside hitter, whatever it is. So I think it's a great opportunity to work together as a team, and honestly, it starts with the head coach, right? And it funnels down. So I think that I'm positive and very confident that they're gonna work together as a team.
Perfect.
May I speak on a
Yes,
couple
Charles.
items as well as, you know, just give further clarification as to why I envision, you know, a couple of these additional positions we're looking at getting approved tonight. Why we need them. Our C team volleyball numbers right now, Coach Van Cura, you know, Coach Nansen, Coach Klein, Coach Gerber are all here tonight. And I believe our numbers are 21 girls on the C team roster.
Correct.
We got 21 girls on just a one C team roster. I think we're taking away opportunities from some kids. And Coach Van Cura worked really, really hard to find an opportunity because she knew the numbers were going to be high at that C team level. But we found an HOL league that plays on Monday nights. And there are going to be, I think, 3 or 4 dates where our CJV varsity are already playing at another venue, whether it's home or away. And we can provide that opportunity for that 4th team, that second C team, to get some additional game playing opportunities. It is really a big reason why we're trying to push this forward tonight. And once again, like Dr. Burquest mentioned, you know, just the safety and supervision aspect of things is really, really vital to, you know, why we want to get an additional coach.
Yeah, Mr. Schultz, I appreciate, sorry to interrupt you, I appreciate that. I forgot about that was a second C team and they're gonna have opportunities to play. Hey, look, you can fault me for a lot of things, but you're never gonna fault me for not creating opportunities for our students. And you know, there's something to be said too. We're looking for another C squad coach. You got the volleyball coaches right here. So obviously they're being, supporting it, I assume, as well. And so I think it's a great opportunity for our students. You have the junior high football coach promoting it as well too, so. Mr. Schultz, was there anything else you want to add? You said a couple things, or?
Yeah, just on the junior high football piece, you know, David does a really good job with the kids. You know, if you were to walk around the hallways, I think Mr. Conrad over there would agree to this, but they always called him Uncle Bob when he was walking around the hallways during the school year. So the kids got that really good connection with him. And then on top of that too, with how short we are on bus drivers, he is able to drive bus for that junior high football team to the games as well. So that's another really important piece that he can bring to the squad as well.
Dr. Perkins, I do agree with you. Our head coaches need to support all the coaches underneath us.
Correct.
And that is something that is very important, and also the word of empowerment. We should be engaging all of our coaches on that sideline to participate, not wave people off when they're trying to coach.
Yeah, and
So
Mr.
make sure we're engaging that,
Yep.
and the kids will be better because of it.
And Mr. Schultz and I actually talked about that a couple weeks ago, I don't know, maybe it's a month ago, I don't remember for sure, about the head coach, you know, hey, use your resources that you have, right? Use your resources that you have. And honestly, I wouldn't mind being on the sidelines in volleyball or football to help, because I can kind of motivate a little bit, right? But we're all working together. And quite honestly, another thing too, you think about it, is there might be some students that get along better with a certain coach, right? And so maybe that coach goes to the head coach and says, you know, Randy Berquist is having a tough day, you know, whatever it might be. So, yes, Dan, I hope I answered your question, yeah.
our enrollment numbers are up in the athletics. Do we know what those numbers are versus last year?
I would have to probably dive a little bit more deep into the registration piece from last year compared to this year.
Could we get that?
Yep, I sure will make sure.
Appreciate it.
I would speak for the volleyball numbers.
They're up.
Yeah, they're up.
So what is the ask here, I guess?
We're asking for two addition,
Yeah, we're asking for two
For a second coach for junior high football and a
Yep.
second coach for C.
volleyball, correct. And remember, it's something that we need to talk about as a district moving forward, right? Because, you know, same concept too. If we don't have the numbers out, we might have to get rid of a coach on the other side as well. And I have to be transparent about that, right? I think it's something we talk about. I think it's a good thing to have, because we have kids that are coming out for activities. Of course, it's gonna cost the district some money, but you have to outweigh that, Sarah.
Yeah.
Madam Chair, we had another C team probably 10 years ago. Because the numbers were there. And they played on, what did they play on, Monday night?
Yes, Monday nights.
And the more kids we have out playing, the support our children in any way. And I'm sure if we need more coaches or anything, we provide more coaches and they'll all do a fantastic job within their areas. Any other discussion? Can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion.
Can I get a second, please?
I'll second then.
Perfect. Any discussion? Any other discussion? Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye, all those opposed say nay.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Okay. Okay, 6.2, recognition staff tenure. Tonight, we'd like to acknowledge some tenure within our staff. We have Slade Kangas, do I have to read it?
You don't have to do that.
Slade Kangas, Austin Richter, Hannah Moeller, Kinsley Tarman, Ellie Molson, Addie Venkura, David Baki, Janelle Huners, and Kayla Sapu.
Madam Chair, may I just mention something about that? May I mention something?
Yes, please.
So, just so you know, there's different rules and regulations for gaining tenure, is the old term, it's now called continuing contract, right? I think it's important that we recognize these individuals. Some of these teachers, as you can see, weren't recognized before, and I think it's important that we recognize them and say, hey, congratulations, you just received continuing contract. It's kind of a big deal, I think, for some teachers. When I received continuing contract, it was a big deal for me. So I think it's appropriate that we do that. You don't have to accept this unless you want to, but this is following state statute on this, and I've worked with the principals to find out exactly who should be on this list. So thank you, Madam Chair.
Sounds great, and thank you to all of our staff.
Yes, thank you to all of our staff.
7.0, old business, we have a second read policy today, 503. Can I get a motion to approve it?
So moved.
Can I get a second, please?
Yes, second.
Okay, any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor say aye, all those opposed say nay.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Moving on to new business, we have approval of handbooks, 8.1. Can I get a motion to approve this?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Any discussion? We have Lake Park Activities Handbook, we have Lake Park Audubon Coaches Advisors, we have Raider Care Handbook, a student parent handbook, and another student handbook.
I'm gathering that you reviewed all of them. I briefed
Yes.
them. The handbooks,
Apparently,
go ahead.
sorry, I don't know if you're gonna ask me this. I think it's important that the school board approve the handbooks. I don't, maybe not in the past, certain handbooks, I don't know, but I think it's important. And yes, I've reviewed them with the appropriate administrators on it, so unless you have specific questions about anything in the handbook, and this is something that we will do every year for our groups.
I do have one question.
Yes.
As I was looking through it earlier, moving up underclassmen, it does not specify age-wise. I think there are specific sports in which moving up upperclassmen is, or moving students up can be detrimental to their physical well-being. You know, you take a wrestler at 7th grade and he's wrestling 103 pounds, that's fine. You take a golfer, basketball player, whatever. But I think football, I don't think that we should be moving up junior high football players to a JV varsity level.
Yeah, I
would,
agree
I
with
would,
you. Are we doing?
I would
are we doing
argument that, yes, that has happened.
Okay,
7th and 8th graders do not have the physical capability to handle.
yep.
So I think that is something that should be looked at.
Yeah,
Yep.
can I answer? So last year, the football numbers, on kind of that JV football, roster were kind of on the lower end. And as the first JV game was approaching, Coach Peterson and I sat down and had a discussion about, you know, how do we want to proceed with the JV football season. And we talked about, you know, reducing the amount of JV games, you know, not playing JV schedule at all. And so we were kind of on that cusp of like, you know, if we can maybe get, you know, 4 to 5 extra bodies, you know, to that JV roster, we could maybe justify maybe playing some games. And so when we sat down and talked about it, we sent out a message to all parents involved, with any eighth grade parent, football player. We sent out a message to them and asked, you know, if they wanted to have the opportunity to, you know, be involved with some varsity practices, but we also made sure that we were looking out for the safety of those 8th graders being involved with 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th graders when they were in that practice environment setting. And we also, you know, reached out to parents. If this is an opportunity that you don't want your kid to, you know, take advantage of, they can stay at their appropriate level, and we'll let them play with their junior high team.
Mr. Schultz.
But I think,
Sorry, Mr. Wickschultz. Mr. Schultz, I get that. I'm gonna play the devil's advocate though, okay? As a parent, if I get that and I say, oh, geez, I don't want my 8th grader to go play up, but if I say no, is that gonna be held against my 8th grader? You know what I mean? I'm not saying that it would, but I can see that perception out there.
Yep, and there was multiple parents that said this isn't a move for my child
Okay.
to play
Go ahead.
at that JV.
So Wickschultz, were you gonna say something?
yeah, I think at that level, at least in a physical sport like that, and I'm speaking from coaching football for 10 years myself at the varsity level and at the junior high level. 7th and 8th graders should remain with 7th and 8th graders. That gives them an opportunity to grow, to be successful at that level with themselves. When you pull up 3 or 4 of the star players, now that program is suffering and trying to make do with what they have as well. And I do not see a benefit to moving an 8th grader up to the varsity level at football. They're not physically prepared for that. That's my opinion.
Were you gonna say?
With all due respect, I'm not sure that I agree with that. I feel like every child has different levels of ability. And I have a daughter who, when she was 11, she played U16 soccer because she was advanced and she was good, and that's what made her better, was going up to that level. Is it for every child? No, but I think it's for that child and those parents to decide. And we can't take away from moving them up so that they can better their ability and be on the level that they truly are on, just because they're the best in 7th and 8th grade, and so it's gonna take away from them. I think every kid deserves a chance at doing what their ability level is.
I don't disagree with many sports, but with the contact sport like football, you put an 8th grader out on the practice field and things happen.
I don't disagree with that. And I don't know football like you do.
Yeah. I'm just saying, in
Yeah.
all the years that I've coached,
I'm
I've
just
never
saying
seen an 8th
I-
grader moved up until recently. I've never seen a junior high football player moved up to a JV varsity level.
I just feel like it should be up to the parents and the student to make that decision. I don't feel like that's a decision that we should be making as a board. If a parent and the coach and the student feels like they are ready, then they're ready.
It is really a case-by-case basis.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's what I'm
we do-
saying.
We got a couple, I suppose it would have been 8th graders last year that are very capable of playing with a sophomore all day long, but I think it's case-by-case basis, and I think we gotta do a really, really good job of managing the situation.
Yeah,
Because I know the first year, I think we tried it, we had 8th graders watching and not getting any time to prepare for their game as an 8th grader. So it's gotta be managed well, really well. And it's not one size fits all.
Well, I see both sides, right? And I'm by no means am I an expert, but I think it's something that the football coaches need to be aware of, that there's some concern, right? And I'm not saying it's right or wrong, I'm just saying that there's some concern, and you better make sure if, I don't know what's been done in the past here, but you better make sure that you have your ducks in a row. I hate to use that term, if you're going to pull somebody up, right?
Yep.
I don't know, I mean, if, I understand where you come from, Cole, if you want us to make some changes, we can surely do that.
No, I just think that by having this as your policy, you're allowing at any level, at every sport, to be able to move students up. So if that's the way we're gonna operate, then I guess that's the way it's gonna be. I don't
Maybe we should-
necessarily agree with, I think that taking students' athletes' safety is more important than
Madam Chair,
anything.
may I?
Yep.
So maybe we should all as a board then look at this policy a little bit more closely and come to a decision together.
We could table it and look at it in
Yeah.
the work session.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
I would be interested in doing that as well.
See,
Not that you want history again from the old one, but this has been ongoing for years.
Yeah.
We've had this problem before. And,
Are you talking about this particular issue
moving,
here?
yeah,
Okay,
basketball, football, and I know, I was a teacher back then, but they had to go through this again and redo it because I don't know if there's a perfect fix, to tell you the truth.
well, nothing's perfect, but if we can look at it as a board and at least the majority of us say, okay, we like this policy and this is where we feel comfortable, sending our students from here forward, then I would feel much better about that, taking another look at it than,
So we at least discuss it
Yeah.
further.
And just crazy, a couple years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, they did not have a varsity team in football. They had just a JV. They did not have enough, different scenario.
They didn't have enough.
But,
Yeah.
they didn't want to be the big time.
But even with that, I mean, as our head coach and our coaches, it isn't just whether or not this athlete is capable of it, but the emotional side of it and just pure physical side of it. He might be the biggest kid on the field, but he's still not fully developed. So don't go putting him in on varsity, letting him take the hit every down because it could damage him. So we have to realize as the head coach that just because he's a big guy doesn't mean he can take that impact as the kid that's 3 or 4 years older than him. So we got to realize it's more than just,
well, I've been on some of those bus rides
yeah,
playing football, and some of the things that juniors and seniors talk about probably don't cross the minds of eighth graders, to be quite honest with everyone, right?
Yeah.
It's another thing you might have to think about as well. I'm okay with tabling it, Madam Chair, this particular one. Are you looking at
I would need a motion.
That'd be the
Done?
coach's handbook,
the what?
coach's handbook.
Yeah, the coach's handbook.
Okay.
I'll
The
make
other
a
one-
motion to table the coach's handbook.
Can I get a second on that?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Motion approved. We will table the LPA activities handbook, and we'll discuss it at a work session in September. Any other discussion on any of the other handbooks?
Coach's handbook.
Coaches handbooks. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
On the coaches advisory handbook. It's clicked on. Any other discussion on any of the other handbooks? Any other discussion? Any other? If so, all those in favor say aye for the remainder of the handbooks, and all those opposed say nay.
Aye.
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 I already did.
Oh, I didn't hear you. Ayes have it, motion approves. Rater Care Handbook, Student Parent Handbook, Student Handbook, and LPA Activities Handbook passes. 8.2, Business Professionals of America. You said we are going to look into that?
Yes, Madam Chair, I'm going to look into that with our union to make sure that we're on the same page. I want to be transparent and upfront with them, and so we can work on an agreement. Because I think it's great for our students, but I want to make sure that I'd rather be proactive rather than reactive going forward with this.
Yes, I would
Okay?
as well.
Thank you.
8.3, Technology Fee.
Yes, Madam Chair, if you guys look at this on page 3, you can see that actually, Mr. McDonald and whoever last year, there is proposed for implementing a technology fee for students. I don't know if it did come to the board last year, but you can see the amounts on there. And, you know, I think John has done a nice job of outlining exactly what it's for. And then after further discussion, it was brought up again. And if you look at page 3, the addendum, we would like to see about getting this approved, updates the technology fee structure. This adjustment reflects lower warranty costs, ensures that fees remain reasonable while continuing to offset warranty expenses for student devices. This isn't something new that a lot of schools have this, this technology fee.
That's what I was gonna say, is that's very common.
Yeah.
Yes. McDonald, is there anything you want to add? I know you brought it, did you bring it to the board a year ago, or?
Yes, it was approved, Susie, back in May of 24. Yeah, so this is just,
Before most of
just
us.
the pricing, really,
Before most of
the
us.
makeup of the changed. We
Okay.
don't have, Windows devices at the upper grades that are Chromebooks now, so we just wanna bring that price down to reflect that. And then just, also just, as a way to offset some of the technology fees.
Can I get a motion to approve the technology fee?
I'll motion.
Can I get a second?
I'll second it.
Any discussion?
So this is just a fee automatically.
Yep.
A fee for using the computer.
It's not a repair issue or they damaged it or a damage fee. It's just upfront part of.
Right. Right?
There's no return.
What does it mean to us as a district for revenue?
Well, that's a great question. I mean, obviously, we're looking at it from the revenue aspect of it, but I mean, let's take away the revenue aspect of it, all right? I think it, in my opinion, I think it holds the students a little bit more accountable to do a better job of ensuring their success and not damaging their property, right? I think that's the biggest discussion on it. But remember, I just want to make it very clear, if parents aren't able to afford this, come and see us and we'll take care of it, right? Because I don't want anybody not to have a Chromebook because they can't afford a technology fee.
Yeah, we, in our discussion, we did talk, this doesn't affect distribution by any means.
No.
We probably follow the same protocol for the activities fees, so free and reduced.
Yep.
This is just a small way to get some ownership on some of the devices, and then also a small revenue stream to make up for warranty and whatnot.
So that is not returned to them if their device is not damaged, if their device is turned in?
It's not a deposit.
It's not a deposit,
No,
this
it's
is a
not
fee.
deposit. So overhead, we looked at doing something like that, the overhead on keeping track of that money, keeping it separate from our general fund and then reissuing and all that. Became such a logistical.
Right.
And a fiscal thing too.
Yeah, it's a fiscal thing, and we're gonna make sure that we're keeping accurate records for when the auditors come, because chances are the auditors might grab, not this year, but next year, they might pull this and say, okay, this is a new concept, they wanna see that, we're following protocol and procedures, policies regarding this. Cole, did that answer your question?
Yeah, it answered my question,
Madam Chair?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
John, when you presented earlier this year about the new cost for all the Chromebooks for all the students, and you had talked about how many you have to replace just from either like wear and tear or dropping or kids being kids. Do you remember what percentage of the Chromebooks you replaced throughout the school year?
So repaired, we don't really replace anything.
Okay,
These are leased devices. And they go
that's right.
for a year, lease. 4 years is a little long in a
Yeah.
child's hands. So when I came on board, I inherited a 4-year lease, and that 4th year was tough, and it was no fault of the kids. And, I mean, those devices travel a lot, they're just, the plastic's falling apart, screws are falling out, whatever. So we went to a 3-year lease just to, we're a small district. If we can at least have a good foot forward in having decent devices for the kids at all levels, that's kind of where we're at. Now,
Sure.
it may cost us a little bit, but I think it's a good advertisement.
So this cost will kind of help offset all of those charges when we
Yes.
have to fix everything? Okay,
Well, I opt for a warranty, so it drives, that's built into the pricing, so it makes it a little bit more of a cost.
More expensive.
Yeah.
It might help offset our annual payment on those leases a little bit. So we'll try, I mean, if it falls into space.
so will we put a policy in place to figure out what families need help and I guess what the,
What the criteria?
right, what the criteria is for us taking on the cost?
So we'll just follow the same protocols we do for, I think it's the activities fees. So
Yeah.
if families
Okay.
are free.
If they're in free reduced, I'm gonna do a video this week on free and reduced,
Okay,
and I'm just gonna say, we really need you to help them.
Yep.
So,
That's what I mean.
okay,
yeah.
We're just dipping our toe.
Yeah, no, I love the idea and I think that it's great and, I mean, technology is important and all of our kids on every level, you're correct, need access to these. I just want to make sure that us as a school district is able to absorb the cost if,
We have been.
okay,
So this is just a little thing. It puts us more in pace with other districts. Other
Yes.
districts either have a technology fee or they don't have a technology fee and they offer parents the opportunity to purchase insurance whether they want it or not.
Sure.
So, like, depending on where you go, those are the options. I think DGF, they don't know anything. They issue the device. It gets turned back into the school when, whenever the child's done with it. But I think they offer, school doesn't handle it for any reason, but they say you can go with these guys and get insurance for the device. Otherwise, you'll be left
paying the bill,
on the hook for any replacement or.
correct.
and K through 6 does not have Chromebooks?
They do,
But they don't take them home.
yeah, part of the deal.
They stay in
is
school.
they don't
Okay.
travel. They don't have
Yes.
a classroom in K through 6.
Good question, Sarah.
So that's why they don't pay a fee, because they don't take them home, so the liability is,
Right,
Okay.
I feel, and that's kind of why we threw it out there for discussion last year, is like, I feel like if it's never leaving the classroom, outside of obvious vandalism, which that's,
Right.
you know, do we really need to, do we really want to, should we? I didn't feel like it, but
no, that makes sense, and I wasn't here last year, so I, kind of missed that.
No, we
Spiel.
met administratively with a number of things, this just happened to be one of the things we had a discussion about.
Sure.
And I support it and move forward, I guess.
Mr. McDonald, let me ask, what are their plans of collecting it? Is it an open house event night, or a letter gets sent home to parents for collecting the fee?
that's something we will talk about, because it was approved for last year, but never implemented.
Yep.
We never got to that, so that is something once we have.
We'll further discuss.
Okay on this, then we will determine.
We will make sure to move forward, Madam Chair, this year on this, so,
Sounds good. Thank you very much.
Will it be year to year?
yes.
Okay, all those in favor, any other discussion? Any other discussion? Any other discussion? All those in favor of the technology fee, say aye. All those opposed, say nay.
Aye.
Aye.
Nay.
Motion passes. Ayes one. Technology fee is implemented. 9.0 succeeding meetings. 9.1 Raider Pride Committee meeting, August 26, 5 PM. Lake Park Audubon High School you said not conference center, we'll move it to the library.
Yeah, we moved to library, in case we have some extra.
And
people there.
9.2 work session, September 10th, 5:30 PM, Lake Park Audubon Elementary School Media Center.
Are we gonna move that to September 18th?
Yes, we will.
Remember, and that'll be at 5 o'clock PM, not 5:30. So she'd probably expect an hour and a half to 2 hours that night, and you can't make it, Sarah.
I
So
will
school
not be
board
there.
work session, September 18th, 5 PM.
Correct.
Okay, meeting is adjourned.
Thank you, everyone.
The next one's the 22nd.
Yeah, the 22nd will be the regular one. Okay.
Basically, we'll have to get it added to the minutes to review the handbook at our work session as well. Do we want to meet with, obviously, CISO first?
Yes.